Good morning. Yes, okay, we have a lot to cover in this next bit that we spend together. A couple of housekeeping items. First of all, I'm here for you. So any questions that you have, throw those in the chat. Nate here on the team will be answering those questions as best as he can. I see Rick here as well, one of our coaches and in charge of sales. Danielle obviously is here as well. So we got a wealth of resources. You can ask questions. About AI in general too, by the way. I want this to be a valuable hour spent of your time just learning about what's going on with AI and the direction of things in many different industries. If you got here as a result of one of your friends or coworkers telling you about Huzi, thank them, because hopefully this is something that's going to change your business or change the way you look at the way you can do your work using the Huzi platform. And most importantly, Danielle touched on it. Huzi, we do have AI products, but we're an empowerment company. And the reason why we're an empowerment company is because I just personally believe that people who feel empowered, who feel like they have an optimistic view of the future, who feel like they have a community around them that are pushing them to be better, is the type of people that we want to be around, the type of people that we want to serve. We just happen to be using AI as one of our biggest tool sets because never before has been such a highly leveraged technology at such a low price point that has such a big impact on your lives and businesses. So at the heart of it, though, I just want to be really, really serious. That's what we design everything around. So our classes, our trainings, and our products are around people becoming more of themselves, doing more of what matters, and we'll let everybody else worry about how to, just focus on efficiency. We have a lot of tools that are driving efficiency, and we do have some automation tools as well. But part of the danger with AI is people automating themselves right out of a job or right out of a career, or just delegating their tasks to ChatGPT and doing things that their customer can just do instead of them. Right. So we really are focusing on our tool sets that raise up the individual to allow them to do more people things and let the AI do a lot of the heavy lifting. I'm going to share my screen, and Danielle, make sure that this isn't just me monologuing for the next 40 minutes or whatever, and interrupt me, making sure I'm being clear on a topic, point out something that I might have skipped over that was helpful, and keep me accountable to the group here. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Yeah. And please too post questions in the chat if you have any. We've got Nate and Rick that are following those, and we'll bring those to the group too if they benefit everybody. So please do. I'll try to keep an eye on it, but we've got a number of members, so please engage.
How the whole company started was when my daughter was doing some homework and I couldn't help her because her math was above my pay grade and it was advanced calculus and stats. And so I was able to use AI in that afternoon. I spent about an hour to figure out how can I help her and coach her or get her through this. And we did. And she went from kind of a deflated, frustrated student to feeling capable and empowered. And as a father, witnessing my daughter experiencing that was really powerful. And so I spent the next 3 days literally just chatting with AI and figuring out how does this work? And then like, okay, we need to develop a whole company around this. And so that was the genesis around it, was that little moment of seeing my daughter just being like, oh my gosh, I can do more things than I could do before. This is amazing. So let's just go ahead. I'm gonna open up. Um, First of all, whozilaunch.com is how you guys found us. And, you can go there. At the end of the day, we are here as a company that sells things. So just to be really, really clear, the whole sales pitch that you're going to get if you love what you see and you want to be part of this, we have a special for the next 300. Well, it's not now 300. We've made some sales. But this month, for the next 300 seats, it's going to be $300 for the whole year. And you get the whole Huzi platform and all the coaching and the training and the classes and all of the newsletters and all the stuff that we'll be doing throughout the whole year. The reason for that is because I want hundreds and then soon thousands of success stories and case studies and whatnot, just flooding, our ecosystem with people that are doing great things. And we can do that by when we democratize the price point to such a point that's like, duh, sort of thing. So just so you know, what we're offering is a $300 offer. And if you're all in at the end of the day, that's the whole sales pitch. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with what we call the Spark Pad. By the way, put in the chat here, is anybody here not using any AI at all? I would like to know that. And if you have the time to put in the chat here, please put in there your kind of like level of experience. If you're an average user, an expert user, daily user, weekly user, I'd love just to take a little bit of temperature here of where we're at to make sure I tailor the presentation accordingly. Because I want to make sure we're speaking the right language to the right group. I'm going to start with the Spark Pad. The Spark Pad was the first product that we built. And the reason why we built the Spark Pad the way we did was because we noticed that people would get stuck prompting and talking to AI and how do you ask it and what do you ask next? And as the time went on, we also saw a lot of other problems with, wow, now there's all these other great models. There's Claude and Gemini and DeepSeek and ChatGPT. And now people were getting a bloated tech stack and things were getting more complicated, not less. And so one of our goals is to try and consolidate tech stacks, consolidate these models into one user interface for people so you can use the models that you see best fit for your task or your query or your coding project, but all in one consolidated place. The second thing is data safety and security. So at the heart of all of this, I care deeply about your privacy. I care deeply about your client's privacy and your intellectual property and your business. And so we are currently going through a security audit for SOC 2 Type 2 compliance. And we just want you to know that this is as safe and secure of a platform, and your information that goes in here, your contracts, your contacts records, are yours. And they're in a safe encrypted portal that's only yours. It doesn't go to train a model or get shared across the data in any way, shape, or form. Danielle, any questions on
That's
that?
been one of the differentiators for Huzi that our members have valued for quite some time now. In fact, they often list that at the top. And now we've got all these models. Thanks for sharing this, Eric. You're highlighting here, and I see in the chat most people are using AI or some chat tool like this on a pretty consistent basis. Some are saying average users. There are also some that say they use it daily. I don't think I've seen anybody that says like with every single action I take in every project. Which is
Yeah.
where I have finally gotten. And I know some of our members are already there too. But Eric, these AI models, can you kind of walk us through why would we select one or the other? So for those that are just starting to kind of dabble in AI, how do
Yeah.
they differ?
In fact, I just approved the next couple of models we put in here for Grok, and 3.7 Sonnet are going to be in here, and Gemini 2.5 we're going to put in here as well. So for those of you that are fans of these other models, we just proved that this morning. So the reason, it's just like different employees, right? Like employee A and employee B have two different personalities and skill sets, even though they're kind of working on on similar things. I think of the models as that way. So just as an example, Gemini is very fast, it's very quick. So if I talk to it here, tell me about, normally, by the way, I talk to AI. I very rarely type. I use the microphone here and I type because one of the things that I have found is that I lose translation sometimes from my thoughts down my arms to my fingertips and trying to translate to my keyboard, but I can certainly chat about it. And so I talk a lot. You can talk to Huzi, of course, from your phone or in the desktop version as well. So Gemini's example is very, very fast. And what's kind of cool about the way we've done this here is that you can actually switch between models all in one chat thread, and it still contains the context. So sometimes if you're talking with one model and then you switch to another one, it now loses the context. In this one chat, one thread, it stays in all of the context. So you can actually switch models. So just an example, Daniel, you saw how fast that version was of Gemini. It's just a very fast model. Huzi is the model that we've trained to do the specific industry sort of tasks. So if you're like having a real estate product, the Huzi model is actually tuned and trained to be more tuned for the real estate profession, which is a nice feature. So that's a nice feature. In the backside of Huzi, actually, you know what? Why don't I just show it? um, you actually are in control over your AI because you can change the tone and the personality and get it to be able to sound like the way you want it, be more concise, be more detailed, add more sources, cite all sources, talk like Gordon Ramsay, whatever you want, you can tune and train it and enter it here. And then as you can see here, Huzi gets to know you. And so the Spark Pad is growing with you. It has memories, so you can train it. It will remember things that you like and that you don't like, and it will grow with you over time. And then lastly, inside of here, you can see we're having a few integrations, and we're going to talk about the Zoom integration that's going to come up here, so you can control those things here. Is that a decent answer on the why you choose different models, Danielle?
Yeah, and I just want to say too and expand because I don't want to skim past this, the microphone feature and how much like we lose the nuance when we're having to type our thoughts out. And I think part of that is just how we've been conditioned with, however many years now we've all been Google searching things. Like you don't share all your why and why you care to grab this answer or what you're needing this answer for. But now with the talk feature, right, you can share all of that, which is the valuable context needed for a valuable answer. And so I think most users, if you're in a space where you can use the microphone, that's really where you find the power.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, a couple of for sure. By the way, I don't mean to skip over that. You'll notice there's a couple of things difference in your ChatGPT interactions. A lot of people I know are using ChatGPT, and by the way, is a fantastic model. And some of our trainings, we teach how to better be prompt engineers, and so you can get better responses out of ChatGPT as well. But inside Huzi, what we're trying to do is act like as a little coach and assistant. So anything that you're working on, and actually, I think I lost my internet connection, which is always the fun thing about doing Zoom and having internet connection. There we go. So you can see here that each one of the responses, if you want, you can hit the Spark suggestions. And what that does is inside of the context of whatever you're talking about, will kind of guide you through the next thing to ask or what to ask next. And it's certainly a helpful a little assistant when sometimes you're just like, how do you know what to ask next when you're doing something new for the first time? Right?
Right.
How would you know? So that's just one of the kind of the nice features. And so you can just like, let's say, oh, I like this one, let's go. And then we'll go to the next generation. Also inside of here, we're trying to also open up what's kind of the black box of AI and what's influencing the answers. I certainly like to know what's inside of the answers I'm getting. And so anytime that if you want, you can click on this little generation right here, and you can start to see whatever the influences or references are used in any of the responses at any one time, which is really, really powerful as well. Okay. Another nice feature, just a kind of quality of life feature here, is any responses you can have it emailed to me or saved to your files. So the Spark Pad is a little bit different than like a ChatGPT because it's more like your personal assistant. So it's integrated with your contacts and it's integrated with your files and your documents. Every industry has got documents and contracts and files and SOPs and policy manuals and all these things. And so we've integrated, this chat with your documents. So if you want to add any of your files that you have in your system right into your conversation, you can do so here by just, let's see here, let's do a fake statement, add it to my conversation. You can now see it's added to this chat, and it is, oh, there we go. I set it on the next trajectory there. And you can now see that the file for this document is now added to this chat. So I can ask anything I want about the file, and anything that's in these documents, CSV files, Word documents, PDFs, can be accessed, referenced, summarized, used as context to tell the AI how to act, all in one kind of easy, nice format. And what I'm doing is just kind of trying to get to the Satori, which is kind of our new flagship product. But I think what's important here for teams and individuals is to know that you have a safe, secure AI model that's infused with all of the different models. Of course, has a chat history. Of course, you can search through all of your chats to find things very, very easily. And we have something that we call Sparks. And Sparks are, if anybody's used a custom GPT or trained a custom GPT on ChatGPT or used one, that's what we call Sparks. So we generate Sparks for our customers that are industry specific, whether for real estate or general purpose. They're put into a little toolkit here. So for instance, a lot of people are having a hard time finding out exactly how to prompt to get great generations. So if you want to, you can just click on the prompting wizard, and then now it'll turn any task or anything that I'm working on. There we go, into a well-formed, fully fleshed out, professionally generated prompt. Okay. So if I say I need, let's see, I need to write a white paper. Those Zoom tools always get in my way. There we go. All right. So here we go. What Huzi will do is now ask me more questions to make sure what is the focus, what's the target audience, and then once I answer that, it will give me a really high quality prompt that I could just hit run, and then it will run the prompt for me, so I don't have to become the prompt engineer master myself to get great outputs out of an AI system. So again, this is all because we're an empowerment company. It's not because we're an AI company, but we know what you need to get done, and we want to help those things get done a lot more simple and faster.
Mhm.
And is that good?
Yeah. Yeah, those GPTs and those Sparks are really powerful. Another way to think of them is kind of like a workflow, right? That we've pre-built. So you've gone in and you say, I have this objective. And
Mhm.
so that GPT will walk you through all the different things that you need to consider to build out and to walk through that process. So some of them are iterative and step by step by step, right? But they all start with a really clear objective at the beginning. So when we talk about like framing and us being an empowerment company, Huzi being an empowerment company, sometimes that's where we miss the mark is like we approach a tool without a real clear understanding of what our objective is. And so using those sparks helps us pause for a moment and really consider what it is we're wanting to accomplish.
And so you'll see here, like if you're a real estate agent, you have the real estate product. There's Sparks to help you navigate real estate transactions, engage with clients. There's generic ones about meal planning and diet, nutrition and parenting and lead generation and all those sorts of things are all built in here to help people get faster results, better than just sitting down and prompting on their own. Okay, so that is the Spark Pad. And just to give you a little orientation of the rest of the product here, over on the right hand side. And we're not going to go too deep, but we have a full learning center. So all of our classes, all of our tutorials, all the how-tos, all the recordings for everything is all here and easily accessible. So you can watch live classes or catch the recordings here. Look at the content that we make for our members is all in this learning center. And then we also have a community where you can ask for customer support or tech support, ask anything about one of our coaches, or talk to each other about best practices and how to do and what to do things all in here in the community. So it's an ecosystem, like we said. You're not meant to just have a tool and then good luck, figure it out. Lots of resources, human resources, and human capital invested into this product as well. Really quick, easy to get registered for classes and have any questions. So that is what this side of the toolkit over here. And then you have your alerts about what's happening inside of the community to make sure that you're all staying tuned. So let's work, and I'm going to kind of work my way from the Spark Pad. Because like most people that are, that understand AI have worked with a chat interface in this way. The problem with that is most brains aren't only left brain thinking, very linear, prompt response. Like me, I think about a lot of things all at the same time, and I'm more curious about things than just sitting and waiting for a generation, waiting for a generation, and iterating this way. I like to look at things a little bit more holistically. So we came up with a product called Satori. And what Satori is meant to do, so Satori is meant to be more of this AI powered canvas that you can kind of just paint your mind on. And what the goal was to build like little building blocks. Instead of having to be such great prompters, you could build building blocks with these different data inputs that just make the generations better, more rich, more complete. Because AI is nothing without context. It needs to know what it's working on, who it's working on it for, and have a data set, a video, a book, a report, some sort of context to give you a novel generation. Or else, I don't know, if you're like reading the MLS on listings, you see like almost every listing description sounds like it's written by ChatGPT because they are, and you can tell, right? Because there's not enough context and love put into it. So we came up with this project called Satori, and I'm just going to go ahead and open an existing board just to give you an idea first, and then we'll build a couple to show you how you use something like this. This is more of a mind map feature. And when I looked and did some market research, if does anybody use Miro, by the way? Is there any Miro lovers or users on the chat? Please put it in the chat here. Miro has got over 50 million users, right? And so the ability for somebody to kind of get their mind out on a map is very powerful. And then we want to take that to the next step by AI powering that. So this is an existing board that I was working on. I'll just kind of share with you what the different components are, and then we'll talk about how to build these things. So it's first of all, it's very easy. There is a toolkit in the bottom that you just drag and drop things onto the canvas. And we're actually going to build a couple, Danielle. What this here is, you see, this is a text. I'm sorry, a chat interface with an AI model. Each one of these are different AI models. And in the lower right-hand corner, you have a voice-powered AI agent that knows what's happening on the entire board in context that can act as your coach, or you can say, hey, I don't know how to add a YouTube video to my board. Walk me through it. And Huzi will walk you right through it here. It's also connected to the internet. So I'll do things like, hey, check the stock price for me. Or what's the score of the game? Or look up this thing online for me. And as I'm doing my research, I have like this coach, almost like Jarvis, that's talking to me and then helping me, that's live and connected to the internet. That's a very powerful model in and of itself. So we have all of those sort of, how to like coaching so you don't feel stuck. Um, these AI models here have got a couple of features, and this is just in our beta product. Our roadmap for this is freaking killer. But even right now, each one of these is connected to the internet for internet searching, has logic and reasoning models. And at the top here, if you just want to be focus mode and just have a chat interface and let all of the other things, all the boost blocks, what we call them, go away, you can just go into focus mode and have a chat with just this AI. But what is going on here is not affecting what's going on here. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm sitting down and I need to create all of my social media content. Well, in order to create great social media content, maybe you need to do some market research about some current statistics. You need to create your captions and you need to generate your images. Well, instead of doing that in a single chat, I can do those on 3 different windows all on one board and get them done all at the same time simultaneously. Okay. So as an example here, I have this board here, and in this window, I have a book and how you get to a books. We have 40 million books in our book repository here. And so, Danielle, what's one of your favorite books, by the way?
The Challenger sale for sure.
Okay. Well, I know that's in here. You should have given me a stumper. I know that's in here. But there's 40 million books. So nearly every book is in here. And the reason why this is important, because when you drag and drop and then you hand that off to your AI, now it's like this AI has read the whole book and your generations not only get more novel, but they get more wisdom injected into them, right? And so if I handed my assistant the Challenger sale and now I say, hey, we're going to have this meeting and we're going to approach this client and I'm going to give the sales pitch. Now he or she is doing it in the mode of the Challenger sale. It's a much different conversation than I'm having than if we just have a generic conversation. Okay.
Mhm.
So the whole name of the game in AI is context. And so if you look to see what we've done here is created these building blocks to help give your AI context without you having to be a great prompt engineer. Because there's fantastic wisdom already out there in the best books, the greatest YouTube videos, the greatest documents. And so we just want to be able to, hey, drag and drop those on the screen, connect them to your AI, and you're good to go. Right. So that's the genesis behind what Satori is about. Danielle, do you want me to get more explaining on that?
Yeah, well, no, but I mean, just having all these different agents on one board, I will say, just me personally, this has eliminated the need for me to have like 100 different tabs open for all my different projects. Extremely helpful. But not only that, I will say too, this is like a way to collaborate with lots of different, wisdom, human wisdom. Like we've got Alex Hermosi here on the board, but also these books. We all read a lot of books, but that's a different part of my brain that's not very quickly accessed. I need to sit down, remember everything I learned. At this point, I can just bring it into my project and leverage that wisdom really quickly and efficiently. I love it.
The difference too between just like giving a link to it and setting it ChatGPT or having it here on the board here is that you can also like watch the video here live right on the screen.
Yes. Okay.
And I can be asking questions of my AI on it simultaneously. So if you want to like talk about learning and ingesting material at a faster level, Satori is the perfect place to do that, right? So you can watch and learn and say, hey, at what point did Alex talk about this? And what did he say about this? And how would I use that in my business that is a plumber in the state of Oregon or whatever it is, right? So you're going to take this wisdom, convert it to you. It's not just about learning it, it's about learning it, converting it, putting it into practice, and then iterating on that faster than your competitors, right?
Mhm.
So that's what these are for here. So in the real world, what a lot of people are doing here as well, they might take all of their training videos that they have of their product or their company or of whatever they're learning, put them all on one board, connect them to an AI, and now they have the perfect SOP generator or the perfect new hire trainer, right? Or the perfect resource to be able to give that information to your customers, right? Of how to use a product and personalize it for them, right? So it's very fashionable way to do that to personalize things. Let me show a personal board here. Let's see if I have access to. All right, so I shared this with our members. I'll go ahead and share this live. This is a board that I use personally, and just to share with you what I'm doing here is I've taken personal development and my business growth and put it on a one board, all of my favorite resources. And so in the morning, I start my day off and I look at this board here and I do my morning work here. And so I'm able to quickly, let's say in one day, I'm interested in more of a spiritual journey. I can go over here and talk about, Eckhart Tolle or Buddhism or the Bible. If I want to learn more about my relationships, I have my resources right here. And at any point in time, I just drag and drop them. And so this is a template for my personal development, my personal growth that I personally use. And I use this literally every single day. All right. So the benefit of these boards is that you can create these templates and have access to and resources just day in and day out and over and over and over. Make sense, Danielle?
Yeah, and I see that you don't have them connected here, but this is just your essentially your bank, right? Your bank of wisdom and inspiration that you may call on at any given time, depending on the project that you're approaching.
Yeah, so I wasn't planning on getting that deep in this, but what I do here is I have my personal questions here in a text window for this quarter that I'm working on these different areas of my life, and I'll go through and I'll pick one of these questions to work on for the day. I'll go over the board, find the right resources, and then I'll have a chat with my AI in that resource, and that's how I do this
I
board.
love
So
that.
like one chat here is for business, that side of my brain, and then the next chat on the right hand side is more my personal side of my life. Okay.
Love that.
So I just have it divided up this way and it keeps me organized and I just go back to this over and over and over. Now you can do this for your copywriting. You can have a board for copywriting, right? You can have a board for generating your marketing material that has all your brand voice on.
Mhm.
You do it for training new employees, onboarding clients. You can create these templates that are infinitely variable that you can use over and over and over again. In the next phase of Huzi, we're going to be having a template share. So we're going to have a community where you can share your templates with people across the network. So I can learn from Jeff and I can learn from Nate and I can learn from Travis and people on here and we can share our templates and then grow together as a team, which is really fun. And we'll be generating templates as well on Huzi and to share those out.
Awesome.
Um,
Those boost blocks, Eric, so you're bringing in books, I see YouTube videos, and then there's some other boost blocks as well too that we can layer onto our boards as well.
yeah. So let's go to like a practical application here as an example. So let's say that we were doing some accounting and we have our bank statements or our P&L or our profit and loss or whatever your statement that you have, your balance sheet, and you want to do some work on that. Well, AI will help you dive in and find duplicate charges, red flags on your spending, budgeting, look for trends over time. And so I'll constantly put my financial statements onto a board and I'll have multiple conversations going at the same time. So what's fun about this is that this chat and this chat are both connected to this document, but I'm having two different conversations and I'm comparing and contrasting, right? And in this one here, I want to do it under the context of the lean startup. So great. So all I do is drag and drop here. And now this AI is trained on the lean startup and has my financial records. And I can have a different conversation here as I was doing in this one here, right? So it's very, very helpful to be able to have these going multiple times because our brains are wired to look for differences. Our brains are wired to look for similarities. It's not just to stare at something and go, is this good or not? Right? When we
Mm.
have more context, we can make better decisions about things. And so Satori is meant to like give you that visual sort of power in a few ways. All right.
Mhm. Mhm.
Let's let's go. Anything on that, Danielle, you want me to point
Well,
out?
I'll just say, like for solopreneurs, and I know that there's a lot in the real estate industry and adjacent industries as well too. What makes that difficult and what's prevented us from going so deep like that is just a lack of time because you wear so many different hats. You are the marketer, the content creator, the bookkeeper, accountant, so on and so forth, the CEO, right? And the one client facing that's servicing the customers and stuff. And so we've just historically had to stay pretty surface level to get it all done. Now, as long as you care enough, we've got AI eliminating this friction and we can just unleash that creativity and leverage AI to dive deeper than we ever have been before. This is incredible.
So what you're seeing here, a lot of times on a board, I'm just giving you some best practices for things like this because this is a newer concept for people. In one chat, normally you'd be kind of restricted. And so a hack for like prompt engineering on the Spark pad, you saw we have a Spark and the Spark is a prompt generating wizard. On a board, what I'll commonly do is I will drag and drop. So to do that, I haven't even showed that yet. Just there you go. Now we have a chat on here. That's all you have to do. And I will constantly do that. And I'll put one over in the right-hand corner like this, and it acts as my prompt engineer. And so I will have it prompt for me. So whatever task I'm actually working on, I have a little prompt engineer over on the right-hand side that's giving me great prompts that I continually use. So that way it saves, I'm like 5x, I don't know what it is. It's a substantial amount of time savings when I have better prompts. But sometimes yeah, Jeff Bernheiser, I know you're here on the call. Prompts take some creativity, and sometimes at the end of the day, like the creative juices just aren't there sometimes. And I like to just have a little AI boost me up a little bit. And so I use a prompt engineer, a little hack here, always on my board is a little life saving tool here.
And I love the persona boost block as well to
Okay,
bring
let
that
me.
in.
Yeah, sorry. Was there somebody saying something? I just thought I heard somebody saying something here.
No, I was just saying I love the
Okay.
persona block. I think that's super helpful. It's like accessing, instead of hiring a specific team member, I just have one at my disposal, or I'm approaching a project and I'm thinking, anytime you think like, if only I were, now you can be, you bring in that persona and now you've got that approach that you would have if you were trained in that field or that area
Now,
of business.
absolutely. So now these AI models here are also image generation, image editing as well, both in the chat and with connected, which I'll show you here in a second. It's very fast. It's very good, and we'll continue to upgrade the models as we see fit. Because again, not all of these models are things that we're building. We're finding the best of the best that's out in the marketplace and then bringing it in as a service to the members. So as Gemini does better, something better, or ChatGPT, OpenAI does something better, or Grok does something better, we'll let them have the arms race, and we'll take the best of the best and put it into the system here as it's available for at scale, right? So one of the things that's really fun is now on social media. How the heck do you stand out, over your competitors? And you have to do it visually. And so having, a model like this that you can get really great images, novel images made is really fun. What I've done here on the right-hand side, when I do a task, this is just what is called our text block. And if you just drag and drop a text block, it can be used in multiple ways. Like I'm using it here as just a placeholder for my notes. And so sometimes if I have a good generation out of an AI, I might copy and paste it and just keep it in my notes off to the right-hand side. That's a nice little use of this tool. But the other way is let's say I can give the AI instructions. So I can say something like make all image generations in black and white. So if I gave it this instruction, and now if I connected to my AI model, the next image that I was generating would be in black and white, right? So it's just now, I don't have to say that over and over and over. It acts as a little system prompt for the AI, which is a really nice feature. Okay, so that's what the text widget is. And I'm just going to explain what's on the board here.
Mhm.
Let's do another image generation here because I want to kind of show you how fast this is, and I want you to see the types of prompts as well. With image generation and how I got these prompts, by the way, was just like what I showed you before. I just put a little chat window on the side and I said, generate an image for a soft plush toy. And I got these really high quality prompts. So for the sake of our speed today, I just copied and pasted and put them here just to show off a few generations here. What do we want a plush toy? What's our subject, Danielle, that we want here? Do we want a duck, a bear? Let's go with a.
Oh, well, we got to do a bunny because Easter is Sunday,
Oh
right?
my God, I didn't even think about that. Okay. So what I'm showing here is that the higher quality your prompt for both text or image generation, the higher quality the image that you'll get. Okay. So don't be afraid to be very specific about the type of image generations that you want here. And the better that you do, the better your quality of your image generation. And these are fast and they're very high quality image generations. We're really proud of this. Now let's go to some other use cases.
So while
Let's,
you're pulling that up, I'll share too, for those of you who are kind of new to AI, iteration is the name of the game, right? So I always point out that similar to if you were working with a human resource, and they were to bring back a project that was close but not quite, you would give feedback and you would point out the difference between what was returned and what you're looking for and provide that additional context and direction. So just feedback constantly and continue to iterate the conversation, provide additional context.
So what you see I've done here is I just took an image off my desktop and I just dragged it and just dropped it onto the canvas. Okay. So I just dropped it onto the canvas and that is now uploaded. And then you'll see here is that there's a little magic wand and there's a download button. The magic wand is if I wanted to make an edit to this image, I can just do it right here on the screen. Just make a quick image edit. You're just done and jumped and gone. Or you can connect it to your AI and you can see in this example, this is a real, this is a real scribble notes out of my notepad. I just took this picture this morning and just dropped it on the screen. And a lot of times out of my notes, I don't want my notes to die. So I take my notes, I bring them to life. I give them to Satori, I get them transcribed, and you can see even my horrible handwriting.
I was going to
Uh,
say, it is real. I can tell that is your horrible handwriting.
that is lit. It's out of this book here. It does a nice job of transcribing my notes, turning my notes into livable plans and actions, giving me an outline, and then now I've got a really good plan of attack based on whatever notes I learned at my seminar or my webinar or whatever I went to my day. So nice use cases to be able to drag and drop your notes onto the screen and have your AI support you with that. You can also do that in the Spark Pad as well. I just like the visual image of this as well. It's just kind of nice to see it side by side. So
And this isn't just, I mean, the difference here is that's a fun feature, right? You can take your handwritten notes and put them in an outline for you. That's fun. But the real power is then you take that and you connect that to your business plan and you make adjustments now with this new thing that you learned or these new processes you learned from somebody whose wisdom, right, and success you really value. You just spent $500 to go to this conference, this 2-day conference. You take that and you update your business plan accordingly. And that's the real value there is you learn something and then you execute.
absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and do, just for fun, we're going to go ahead and do a little staging because the power of AI in images are when I connect the image to my chat, there's two things happening. One, it can actually physically read the image. I just put a round table on a piece of board and that's all it has. It's exactly what I did. That was a horrible prompt. That's so funny. I should add some chairs. Now add some chairs. That's so funny. I got a little hurried there this morning. So what's happening here is that you can actually read this or make edits to it all in the chat. So if I wanted to, I could have the AI describe the image itself, and I might want to use that in my marketing pieces, right? Or if it's a product, picture of a product, and you want to create social media based on the description of the product, you can do that in this way because it's reading the image, or it can modify the image, either one. So if I wanted to, I'm going to do something like this. And what this is doing is going to prove, I'm going to actually delete these all together so you can see it's a clear chat. And what this prompt is asking it to do is now read the image and then now out of this image, go ahead and make all of my different social media posts that are specifically about this image based on the best practices for each and every platform. So in one prompt with one image, you can create all of your content that is best practices for each platform with something like this, right? So I like this sort of like multiple function because AI is an amplifier, it's a multiplier. So instead of just saying do one thing, do them all. And now the AI models are smart enough where they can do all of them if you give it a decent prompt, okay? Now let's say I'm a real estate agent and I'm working on my marketing. I get a new listing and I have my marketing over here. And I'm working on my marketing for social media, but I'm also, let's say I'm doing a open house for the weekend. Simultaneously, I might be having my researcher over here. Let's go ahead and again, for the sake of time, I just put prompts here in this little note section. But I might have an AI that's also doing all my market research for me. So as I'm preparing for my open house, I've got my market research done. I'm getting my social media created, and I have all of my latest stats and trends to be focusing on what I'm doing best, and that's serving people. Now, the next release, Danielle, you're actually going to be able to connect two AIs together so they'll talk. So you have your researcher over here is creating all the stats. You have your image generations over here. Combine those together. Now make me a flyer, right? Now make me my document that I can send to my home buyers and sellers. Okay. So the next iteration, we're actually going to have the AI models, 2, 3, 4, connect images, connect chats, connect different AIs into one. And that third AI will have the context of the other two. And again, you can combine those resources into one conversation or one artifact now, which is the goal here. See that? See the power of that, Danielle?
Yeah, I mean, it's like bringing all your employees together to in one boardroom, right?
Right.
One's now informed by the others and
That's exactly right.
building upon each other. Love that.
That's exactly right. Okay, let's do some imaging for reimagining because a lot of what we do is reimagining. I'm going to go ahead and delete these here. And is there any questions, by the way? Am I missing any questions? Because please put those questions in the chat or specific use cases. Throw those in here because I want to make sure that we handle any of those.
Yeah, Nate's doing a really good job staying on the questions. But yeah, use cases would love that. So if anybody is curious to see something or has something that's specific and they're wondering if AI can help them, would love to demonstrate that or answer that question.
Absolutely. We're just going to do a little bit of more image editing here so you can kind of see how, because a lot of image editors are not that good, to be honest with you, or they mess things up. So you can see almost with any sort of object, principal, people, or whatnot, you can get decent generations. And this was an okay prompt. And it did a decent job of generating the image that adhered to the prompts pretty well.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So in any industry, part of our challenge is getting our clients to reimagine things, to see things through a new lens. And so being able to do that visual and with data combination is very powerful. Okay. So we're gonna want to definitely do that.
So Paul's got a fantastic question here, Eric.
Oh, hit me, baby.
Okay, well, Huzi interface with other software and in parentheses, mortgage coach.
Oh, I love that. Oh, were you just on the mortgage? I just did a webinar with mortgage.
Totally. I saw that.
Yeah. So there's not a direct integration with Mortgage Coach, but a lot of what we're seeing is that like you could take the TCA as an example, the total cost analysis out of the Mortgage Coach, either a screenshot or copy and paste the code, even if you wanted, throw it into Huzi. And this is a great way for you to do a couple of things. One, convert something like that's a technical sort of experience, the total cost analysis of a loan and all the costs associated with a loan, and converting that to any sort of perspective that you're trying to get at. So maybe it's a first-time home buyer that's nervous about fees, or it's an experienced investor that's done this a million times, just wants to get right to the point, or whatever. So you can actually take that, just take a screenshot of your TCA, drag and drop it on the screen, and then ask Huzi to do the translation for you in an email or a written form presentation. So, but there's not a direct integration of sorts. Although with Trust Engine, I'm having some conversations about them and with them, and this sort of interface, you guys, if you can imagine any of these blocks. So we're going to be rolling out more blocks. So there'll be blocks here for websites. There are blocks here for what we're calling AI tools. So you're going to be able to like make any piece of micro software with just a simple prompt. So if you need an ROI calculator, you need a calculator to count your steps and macros for the day. You need a little piece of software to show the trends of Q4 to Q3 to do a presentation. You can do all that right here in one of the blocks. And so we're going to continue to build out these blocks that you can be able to drag and drop. At the enterprise level, companies that we're talking to have specific data points. They might have their customer records, or they've got the data that comes out from this research service that they subscribe to. Put that into a block, and now they have their AI model and their specific knowledge base and be able to act in this drag and drop format, which is pretty powerful, right? So AI is eating software, and software that is basically contrived of basically just data entry is going to be going away very soon because that's where work is done. But now with AI, you start your work, right? Normally you go to a piece of software, you've done work ahead of time, you've had a meeting, you plan on what to do, now you just go to get the work done. With AI, you actually start your work there and get the work done simultaneously. So AI is getting upstream of lots of software and just kind of eating the value proposition of some static software. So at the end of the day, we hope Satori is one of these sorts of interfaces that just frees people up to be able to kind of use it however they want to use it. Just to show you here again, sorry, Danielle, was there more?
Oh, we've got lots of questions. But
Oh
yeah.
man, hit me. I would rather answer questions than keep talking.
Okay, fantastic. So what about taking data, putting data into Huzi and then creating a CSV file or some type of data file like that to organize?
Totally. So inside of the files, so that you can add Word docs, PDF, CSV files, and also the AI here will generate. It won't generate a PDF yet. It won't generate a Word doc, but you can generate a CSV file. And we do have some other plans for doing that here real soon, but mostly as a result of multimodal. Because again, with images, with chats, and then you combine those and chain those, I want to be able to produce your artifact. Insert your artifact here, your flyer, your presentation, your CSV spreadsheet, and then be able to download it right to your desktop. And that is just coming. I'm talking just weeks, not like months. So very
Mhm.
soon.
Mhm. And then, well, that was a question actually from Adam Zagel, and then he's clarifying. He said the issue is getting the data that is in Gmail out to a CSV file. Oh, got it. Okay, so you're wondering, so it's not currently connecting to Gmail or scraping data from your Gmail in the moment. So if that clarifies that,
Correct. No.
Adam, but you can organize that if you bring that into Huzi. And then Paul had a great question: can Huzi design a marketing plan to solicit clients? Absolutely. My gosh. This is a fantastic use case. I use that, I mean, really, and you said real estate agents, but really any client or prepping for any meeting. I do a lot with coaches across the country and otherwise. And so I'm also prepping by watching their YouTube videos, bringing their YouTube videos into Satori and really getting a feel for what their value proposition is and where there's alignment, things like that. So, not only can you bring in data like your CMA or property photos, things like that, but anything that informs and paints a picture as to the relationship and the value that you can provide and bring to your client. Absolutely.
So a little even cheat code. What I was just doing here is I went to this is version 1 of Persona, and basically what it is you say who do I need to be? Not who are you, but who do I need to be? I need to be a copywriter. I need to be a lead generator. I need to be a researcher. Whatever the thing is that you need to be, I need to be a patient parent, right? Whatever that thing is, you enter the prompt here. So I'm just gonna patient parent because that's what we all need to be if we aren't already. A patient parent, that was a horrible prompt. But what happens is it creates this little persona. And with a persona is essentially a system prompt. And by just creating that persona and now handing that off and giving that to my AI, just like this, now you can see my AI is now a parent pal. It's now helping me think about things and it will be tuned in a way that thinks more about parenting than just a generic AI chat interface, right? The
Eric, this is one of my favorites. I often also, comma, add that I want it to also be like a previous teacher or a teacher of some sort or a patient because I want to learn. So if I'm needing it to help me troubleshoot my other text issue programs in my tech stack, which happens, right? You've got other things, and now I'm using Huzi to troubleshoot. I actually bring in a persona that can teach me in layman's terms, in addition to giving me just the steps to follow to troubleshoot, tell me like how I might be able to fix this problem by myself in the future.
I'm gonna show you.
Exactly. So what I do comment, and this is actually how my daughter uses this in college, is to take the videos of whatever you're trying to learn, and obviously lots of school is has lots of videos. So I will take the video, I'll drop it on here, or she will take the video and she'll spin up a tutor persona. She'll have the tutor persona and the video here, and now she's created a tutor on microbiology or economics or parenting or whatever it is with
Mhm.
a couple drag and drops, and so she can learn much faster. So she can watch the video on the screen and chat with it and help answer questions about her homework all on one thing with just a couple of visual ads here. So that's I think that is one of my favorite tools. Now, V2 though, Danielle, the persona, what we're working on here is to be able to like instead of connecting, let's say you love this video and
Mhm.
this is a persona on parenting, and you want to give this persona this video, and you want to give it a book on parenting. Let's find a book on parenting as an example. Insert marketing here, insert CEO here, insert whatever soccer coach, whatever you want here. You're gonna be able to give that to your persona and then save that persona to be able to use that board after board after board after board. So you're able to train these little experts and keep them in your library of experts that you've tuned and trained very visually, very easily, drag and drop tier, and then use those on whatever project you are throughout your entire ecosystem inside of Huzi.
Mhm. And then that's your own secret sauce right
Right.
there.
Right.
Yep.
Hyper personalization.
Mhm.
Now, the secret to AI also, and I want to get back to your questions here, but I want to, you notice contacts is on here. So we don't do things just to do them. We do them for people. Okay. So inside of Huzi, you have all of your contact records that you've either synced over or just uploaded, or over time just told the SparkPad, hey, I met Danielle at Safeway. I want to follow up with her next Tuesday. I learned that she's got 2 kids. You keep all those notes inside of Huzi, and now anytime you're doing something for Danielle or doing something for, do I have myself in here? Yeah, doing stuff myself, drag and drop my contact record, and now any notes that I have on that person, I can do in context with or for that person. So a secret hack for me is great for like gift giving, right? So I would give like keep my notes in here about what they like, what they don't like. I hand it over to my AI, do a little internet search. It's like find the perfect gift for this person. And I'll go out and based on what this person, all my notes are, and go out and find the perfect gift, or
Mhm.
it'll write the content for them, or it'll write the email, or it'll do my sales presentation, or it'll help me prepare for a meeting with this person. So integrating context in the board was really important, and that's how you get personalized generations using AI.
Mhm.
Okay, I've talked way too much. What other questions are there in the chat thread here, if any? Danielle, miss anything? Because I can't see
Um,
it at all.
yeah, I don't think so. Victor said, I love this. Playing with building my funny, sarcastic lab for a book model. I love that. And it even created the AI picture.
Yeah.
We have loved seeing all of our members share on social what they're using it for. In fact, there was somebody in the real estate industry actually who was sharing that they're using the image generation to provide even a better service to their clients now, and visualizing what they can do for their property, not even just to sell, but while they live there, how they can improve it and improve the lifestyle of this home, recognizing that that's really what you're buying is the lifestyle, not just the house. That's next level service.
In the next release, by the way, since you mentioned collaboration, you're going to be able, we'll have live collaboration on the boards as well. So you'll be able to invite your teammate at work, your coworker, your whole staff, or your client onto a board and in real time be able to visualize things together, do research together, create the copy together, work on the project together, all live in real time on the boards. So online real time collaboration is I would say about 80% ready. We were demoing it the other day, and it's working great. And so the idea, you'll be able to share a board, meet on a board, and then collaborate in real time on the board as well with clients or coworkers. So or group projects, students, right? They're doing group projects at school, same sort of thing. So
Which
that'll
really
be
points to what we've said all along, Eric, is that, human in the loop. I know so many are have asked or been concerned, like, will AI replace me? And what we hope we're demonstrating is that no, not if you're leveraging AI the right way, which is to consistently grow and be more valuable than the AI. So know what everybody can get out of a Google search or out of any really basic AI generations, and that's now your new bar. How do you provide additional value? Leverage your AI to find that and to develop additional skill sets, and that's where you stay at the top. Grab the market share.
almost everybody is focusing on volume, like how do I produce more with AI? Some statistics, I'm going to close the screen for a second, just have a heart to heart. Like statistics are showing that there's like a 8,000% increase on social media posts and content generation since the introduction of ChatGPT. It's like something like 6 billion posts made per day currently. Okay. So we're talking about an explosion of online content, both in social media channels, Reddit, internet, blogs, posts, and whatnot. And most of it is just garbage. And you guys know that, you see it. And so with Huzi, we're trying to make sure that we're not talking about volume. We're talking about value. We're talking about personalization. We're talking about hyper specialization. We're talking about a world where all of your clients, we have an AI powered consumer that has all of the broad knowledge, but has none of your expertise or wisdom. So how do you give that? You have to stand on top of AI to do that because they're going to know a lot. A generalist in any profession, especially a service knowledge based profession, is not going to have advantage anymore. Right. I remember talking to an older client one time, and he was even complaining. He was like, I used to be the smartest guy in the room until everybody got a damn smartphone and they could Google me and know I was, excuse my language. He's like, they knew I was full of shit because they could double check it. Now that's on steroids, right? Because everyone has like a ChatGPT or Perplexity or Huzi or whatever in their pockets. So the only way for it to be valuable is to know more than that damn thing in their hand, right? So and at scale. Okay. And so today, like some of the classes that we're going to be teaching is also how do you become a part of the conversation online And what I mean by that is the internet is not a place of things anymore. It's not just a place of listings or of recipes or whatever it is. It's a place of conversations. People are going more and more to ChatGPT or to chat models to have a conversation about the thing. And that AI helps them find the expert, right? So you'll be focusing on how do you get ranked in these AI conversations and how do you get be brought up and be recommended by these AIs so you get the referral. And also, how do you have your social media channel as such where it's so crystal clear the value that you provide that they can't go anywhere else, right? And so that's the two things that we really focus on at Huzi is how to use these tools to be able to accomplish that, and so you don't get lost in the noise. Okay. So that's the deal. That's what we're doing. I want to be really good about your time. $300 if you guys want to join for the next year. And we have everything that's included. The last thing that's not included in that price, but we do have as a service, is that we also have AI agents. And these AI agents are the lead generation caption tools that you can put on your websites, lives in your DMs on your social media channels. You can use during events and open houses that will capture leads, help qualify them, schedule appointments or showings because it's integrated with your calendar, dumps all that information to your CRM because they're integrated with virtually any CRMs. And we also have that as a service as well. So for those of you who need those public facing tools and agents, we have those and we're going to continue to grow those with voice and AI avatars and so on. That is the future. So we're here to support.
And just for some context too, so $300 for 12 months of a Huzi membership and into the community. So that special is off of $984 just to give you some perspective. So it is fantastic. We love to welcome you into the community for the next couple hundred, and we're already into that. We'll be honoring that pricing for the next 12 months, which starts as soon as you sign up, obviously. And then we've also got a ton of support to get you onboarded and consistently learning and leveraging your AI to scale and grow your business and grow personally as well, too. So if you want to sign up, you can use the link that got you here on the call, or you can also visit huzi.ai as well, too. Both of those will take you there. And thank you all for joining us today.
Yeah, there is a 7-day trial, and the AI agents, I saw a question come up, it's from 25 to $50 a month, depending upon it's do it yourself or we build them for you. So we have a service, we just build them for you, deploy them, and it's pretty hands off. So thank you all.
Yeah.
My pleasure to be here. I'm honored you spend your hour of your time interested in what we're working on here. And I hope you got some good ideas about how AI is used and about what we can do for you. You can reach out to me directly, eric@huzi.ai, if you have any questions directly. And we just want to create a freaking army of people that are killing it, whatever industry that they're on. And this special is our kind of dedication to show that and prove that, that we want all these success stories in this next month. And hope you guys are part of that.